So how to create an array list? So like this, so array list, the type parameter, and this is really new. So we have the symbols right here, which we call generics, the name, and then the new array list as an ordinary object. Okay, just calling the constructor. All right, so if we want to define a list of integers, we follow the syntax, a list of strings like this. So it is a little bit similar to the array. So we need to define the type of each array list of those, okay? All right, so let me show you how would it be our code using ArrayList. I already have it right here. And just a quick tip about the Java 7 and 17. So although the presentation right here shows adding the type on both parts, like this, string. So since the Java 7, we don't need to repeat the type, the compiler can understand it, and we can omit on the second part, we can hide it, okay? So, and this operator right here, the less than and the greater than, we call this diamond operator, okay? So it is the diamond operator. Although we called it operator, it is not like the plus or the multiplier operators. It is just the name that it was given, okay? And when we create an array list like this, it has the initial capacity of 10 elements. So it has the default size of 10. And on the Java 17, since I think the Java 11, we can define the var. So in the same way that the compiler can understand that we don't need to repeat the string, it is smart enough to understand this. We can use the var right here. So we are not defining actually the type of the variable, but the compiler can understand the type because of the value that it is being assigned to the variable, okay? But please keep in mind that we cannot do to change the type like this, so countries in and then assign one, as we can do using the JavaScript or any other programming language. We cannot do like this, since once it was defined right here, the type, we are just not writing the array list of the type of the variable, but all the time the compiler is in a smart way, discovering the type of the variable. In Java, it is always a strong type. So all the variables, uh, have only one type of data. It is strongly typed. Once defined as array list, it will always be array list. So you cannot change it to an int, okay? Other thing that you cannot do is, we know that we can do int number, just declaring and then assign it in the next line, there is no problem doing this. But if we are using var, we cannot do. We need to define and assign on the same line, because var, it is not a valid type. So the type of the variable will be determined by the value that is being assigned to the variable. Okay, so again, you cannot declare in one line and assign in the next. You need to do everything at once. You need to declare and assign at the same time. All right. And another difference that you can see here is, since we need to pass the more information to use the var. So here exclusively we need to define the string right here, new string. Okay. So resuming everything, if you use in this way, assigning the array list type when declaring the variable, you don't need to repeat the types, to write twice. Although it is not wrong, but you can just remove right here on the second part, and defining like this, it is enough. Although if you use right here the var, you will need to define the string on the second part. String or any other type, maybe integer or maybe anything else. Okay, maybe Boolean, any valid type that you want to. All right, so moving forward, right here, I added all the previous values. Oh, there is a really good question. Can we define array list of int? No, we cannot. So we need to use only classes, only objects. We cannot use primitive types. And that's why we have the wrapper classes, because we cannot use the primitive types. So if I want to define an array list of ints, I would need to define as integer. If I want to define an array list of floats, I will need to change to floats using the wrapper class. Okay, that's why we have one of the reasons why we have the wrapper classes in situations like this. And here I added all the previous values, all the 5 countries, then I print them. Really easy to print all of them like this. And then I just added a new value. And right here, I can add new element in a specific position like this. So countries that I want to add in the position of index 1, and the value is England. Okay, so I'm gonna run this code so we can see what's going on. And that's it. We have right here the 5 initial countries. Okay, the 5 initial countries. Then I added the Brazil like this. So the new element goes at the end of the list. And then I added a new element in a specific position. So it is right here, the England. So what happened to all the other elements? all of them were pushed to the next position. So we have United States in the index 0, the first position. Then we added England on the index 1, and all of the others were shifted they were shifted to the next position. It is like doing this. All right, that's what happened. So we have here England, and we had actually not much effort to do this. I just defined the index that I wanted to add, and the ArrayList class did everything for me. If we were using just arrays, it would be really more complex. So I hope that you are seeing all the power of the ArrayList class. It is really interesting. All right. And right here we can print all of them, and then counting the non-null values. So I called the method country size. So it is different from what we had before, then it was the country's length. This gave me before the total length of the array. And here we are going to have just the count of elements inside of our array list, which it is really more interesting. Okay. So again, I'm gonna run this. Oh, so there's a question right here about this add method. So it is an example of method overloading. Yes, perfect. So it has the same name, but the first one takes only one argument and the second takes two arguments. Perfect. It is method overloading. All right. So right here, we printed all the elements of our array list, and then the country size gave me the count of how many elements are inside of my array. Okay, so count no-null values, I have 7. Okay, so I don't need anymore to do all of this calculation that we had on the arrays like this, counting one by one, testing if they are null, because the array list simply gives me the counters.size, which it is the counting of elements inside of my array, list. Okay. And what about to reset or to clean my array list? Before we did like this, replacing all of the current elements with null, but now we have the countries.clear. So we have this method clear to just remove all the elements inside of our array. Okay. So to the next step, we just clear, and now the count is 0. So all the elements were removed from our array list. And we have a really useful method, which is empty, to tell us if we have any value, any element inside our array, which in this case, since the size is 0, so it is true. So it is empty. Yes, it is empty. We removed everything from inside the array list. So we don't have anything else inside of the array list. All right.